Welcome, everybody. I really do not like this phone. I think I'm going to do a whole episode on how ridiculous this phone is. This is a Stylo 6. I got it just for the camera, just for the storage and stuff. And I hate the keyboard. So, that being said, welcome everybody to E&C Question Reflection. Of course, where you learn truth, knowledge, and understanding. Quick reminder, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you hit the notification bell and select all. Also, make sure that you like, comment, and share this video. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, the links are in the description box. Of course, if you want to know, you can always contact me, whatever. Look, today we're going to be talking about something that's a little aggravating to me. I wouldn't say it's aggravating, but it's aggravating to the point where I'm going to make a video about it. So it's super annoying when I see people together for like 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, how long have you been married? They're like, oh, we're not married. Do you want to be married? And they're like, oh, I mean, well, no, not, I mean, maybe, I mean, how long do you have to be with somebody before you know you're going to marry them? It's super aggravating. So, I had somebody actually ask me that. Well, how do you know that you're supposed to marry this person? So it goes back to my whole thing about knowing who you're marrying or knowing who you're with, knowing what to look for, knowing that dating is not just something fun to do, even though it can be fun. It's not something just fun to do. You really want to have a purpose behind what you're doing. So a lot of people will go through years of being together and they never marry them. If somebody tells me that, oh, we've been together for 2 years and you're not married yet, ladies, I'm gonna tell you right now, he ain't planning on marrying you. If he hasn't, especially a man, if he hasn't decided that he wants to be with, if he hasn't decided that you're marriage material by 2 years, you're probably not marriage material. Ladies, most women want to be married. So most women are the ones that push the issue. Most women are the ones that want to be, okay, can we get married? Can we get married? Can we get married? It's mostly the men that kind of hinder that. Just like how we say that, women control sex, men control relationships. It's kind of like that. Or, excuse me, men control marriage. It's the same. It's the same thing. So how long do you need to be together before you decide whether you're going to marry somebody? How many people are actually in a relationship and they've been together with this person for like, I don't know, a year? I'm going to tell you, nowadays, you know whether that person's marriage material or not. 9 times out of 10, you've probably been living with them. You spent the night with them a couple of times. You know how they keep themselves. You know how they interact with other people. You know how their livelihood is. You know whether they can keep a job, whether they're financially stable. You know these things. It doesn't take you that long to figure that out. Now, I will say this is generally speaking, this is majority speaking, because there are people who lie very good about having maybe double lives, or, they're very good about keeping things from the person that they're with. And I mean, whatever, whatever. There's people that do that. But it don't take you that long to figure out if somebody is marriage material. Me and my husband were together for 11 months. 11 months. One day we was just sitting on the sofa and we were just like, you know what? Okay, let's get married. 2 weeks later, we said 2 weeks, we set a date, boom, we was married. We've been married for 14 years. It don't take that long. It doesn't take that long to figure out whether a person is worth keeping or not. Shannon says it's a mentality thing. To some people, they just are not ready to be in a committed relationship. Baby, if they're not ready to be in a committed relationship, then they don't. Think about what you just said. Think about what you just said. A committed relationship. They're in. These people nowadays are like, oh, that's my man. We've been together for years. You're in a committed relationship if you're together that long. When you're living with somebody, you're in a committed relationship. You're there. People get to the point where they're just like, oh, well, I don't want to be married for whatever reason. Oh, I don't want to be married because of taxes. Why on earth do people have this thought that if you're going to be single, you're going to be single? But I love you. It doesn't take that long to decide that you want to be married to somebody. I have a lot of girls that'll come up to me and they'll be like, well, you know what? He hasn't proposed to me yet. Not a lot of men really want to be married. They want to be married, but they're not just going to jump into it. Men think on a logical level. Women think on an emotional level. So women are more likely to be like, oh, you make me feel so good. Oh, I feel so good when I'm with you. And oh my God, I feel this and I feel that. Yeah. So let's get married. I want to be with you forever. You know how many young girls I hear say that? I want to be with you for the rest of my life. And where are you when baby, that don't mean you're going to be with somebody the rest of your life. I am married, but growing up, I was taught that it wasn't important and didn't even care much for it. But my husband now insists that he wanted to be with me forever. See, there you go. Want to work with forever. Just before 2 years. That's good. And how long have you been married? Well, let me keep reading. Maybe you tell me. But my husband now says that he wanted to be married for 2 years. We've been married for 7 years now. See, look, congratulations. But you guys need to hit that 10-year mark. By the way, I know within 2 months and been together happily since 20. See, look, Shane, see what I'm talking about? And he did too. It don't take that long, guys. It doesn't. What are you looking for? When you're in a relationship with somebody, what is it that you're looking for? You look at this person every day. What else do you need to know? When a man is looking for a woman, he's looking for a woman who's marriage material. He's not looking for some woman that just loves to be around everybody else. He's not looking for a woman who... A man has an idea of how... Good men, decent men, have an idea of what they want to... What kind of house they want to run, where they want to be, what kind of things they want going on in their house. It's simple to them. They know exactly what it is. They have a plan. And even if they're not all put together at once, they still have an idea. They know that they need somebody that's going to help run their house. So maybe it's cooking or cleaning or helping, take care of children or dogs, whatever you have, or cats. Don't let me leave out the cats, the furry friends or the scaly friends or whatever. They know exactly what it is. That this is what I want. When they're looking for women that are marriage material, they're looking for women that can do that on a regular basis, that are committed to doing that understand their roles as women. If a man even has to question whether you're marriage material, either one, you're looking at what exactly are you looking at? Men, it's very obvious that men maybe they just don't want to be married. But you'll have a lot of women that'll sit back and they'll just be like, well, I want to be married. Okay, well, why does everybody have to pop up on my live? Like, really? But anyways, what exactly are you looking for? What exactly do men actually look for? What exactly are women staring? It doesn't take that long to figure out whether this person is marriage material or not. It doesn't take that long. And sometimes I think, well, they stay together because they feel good together. Or, it just feels good to be around them. Marry them. I've heard people tell me, well, I don't marry him for tax reasons. What tax reasons? I did if you're talking about child support, I did a whole video about women and men sharing the debt or the responsibility of child support. Once you marry somebody, it becomes your debt. It becomes something that you deal with. Okay. You're still dealing with that. If you're living with, let's say a woman and a man are living together and she's like, well, I'm not marrying him because I don't want to deal with his child support. You've been with him how long? Okay, well, maybe you've been with him for 4 or 5 years. You're still dealing with this child support. I don't care whether it's just you thinking that you're not. Baby, yes, you are. That's still a problem. If you guys have been living together for 4 or 5 years, everything that's going on in the house, finances, any kind of issues, anything, It doesn't matter. You guys are living as a married couple. You're dealing with the same situations. You're dealing with the same finances. You're dealing with it just like you were married. There's really no difference. Okay, well, I want a tax break. From what? I don't want all my money going to his child support. It's all these lame excuses. And I'm just going to call them lame. They're just dumb excuses. If you're going to be with somebody, marry them. It don't take that long to figure out, well, I don't know if I want to marry her or not. How long have you been together? 3 years. Do you know how many times I have watched other people's talk shows before? And I'll listen to somebody come on and they'll be like, well, I want to be married. Okay. And how long have you been in a relationship with this person? 7 years. There's a reason he hasn't married you yet, ma'am. There's a reason. It's not just because he just doesn't want to be married. It's because it's something about you. Because some men don't want to commit to one person, and there are men like that. But majority of the time, when a man finds that one person who they can do what they need to be doing as the head of a household, they're gonna grab her. Boom, they're gonna grab her. They're gonna hold on to her. They're gonna marry her. Boom, she's married. Then it says, I think there's a different stroke for different folks. As long as you can't talk because you married. As long as the relationship is healthy, people should move on their own time. Some people rush into marriage for the title, but ain't, girl, you better watch my other video, but ain't ready for the work. Girlfriend, look. They rush into these relationships for a title. I'm gonna say, yeah, they do. They not ready. Really? Thought you got married. We're gonna have to talk about that then, girlfriend. There's a gnat or something touching me. Maybe I'm tripping, maybe it's something. But you're right. You're right about that to a point. Some people just get married just to say that they're married, and then their marriage never works. So yeah, I get that. I mean, I definitely can get that. I can understand why people might feel that way, or they might feel like, well, I just want to be married. People do look at other people different when they say I'm married. It's almost like a step up from I'm in a relationship. I can get that. It doesn't take that though. He went to prison before we could get married. Girl, it's gonna happen. He coming home soon, and it's gonna happen. So yeah, they do. They go and they get married just because they want to say that they're married. But I'm talking about people who have been in relationships for like 7 or 8 years. Now, this is the funny thing. We're common law marriage. If you're gonna start the common law marriage stuff, just get married. People are so stuck in, I need a tax break, or I don't want my taxes to go because of, or I don't want to lose all my money to child support because I didn't have the child, it's his child. There's so many excuses for why people will sit here and say they're not married. But then you'll sit here and complain to me about how you want to be married. People contradict themselves constantly. I want to be married. I want to be in a relationship, but that's all? You want to be you want to be married, but then you're giving me some lame excuse about why you don't want to be married. What is it? Which is it? It does not take 3 and 4 years to figure out whether you want to marry somebody or not. It doesn't take that long. I'm still trying to figure things out. No, you're not. What you procrastinating for? If you want to marry somebody, marry them. If they're worth marrying, marry them. I do agree with you, Vanessa, when you say that people just get married just to be doing it, just to have a title. I totally get that. I can understand that. People get in this marriage and then they were like, well, I'm not going to do my job as a wife, and he's not going to do his job as a husband. Well, then you shouldn't have got married in the first place. But it doesn't take that long to figure that out. There's plenty of people who will come to me, oh, I was in a relationship for 2 months. And, it just didn't work out because someone said, okay, so you didn't want to marry him. It doesn't take that long. Just as quick as you find flaws in people, it's just that easy to find the good in them too. You watch them. Just like you watched them and observed them all the flaws that they had and decided you wasn't going to marry them. It's the same way. It's no different when you're dealing with people, when you find out whether you want to marry them or not. It's not hard. It's really not. Even on an elementary level, and I don't say that as to like belittle anybody, but even with somebody who doesn't do a lot of research, it's really not that hard to find out whether somebody is marriage material or not. That's why you watch videos like, like mine, and like there's other people that also talk about marriage. We'll tell you how easy it is to find somebody that's marriage material, but you can't just be expecting them to do something and you're not doing it. Hold on, let me go back. Let me see what Miss Vanessa said. We were together for 5 years before he proposed. You see my face? You see my face? Did I lie to you? Did you see my face? What was his reason for that? But neither one of us were really ready. Baby, hold on. We had a lot of work to do on us before we felt comfortable with trying to take the next step. It's a process for us. I understand what you're saying, but let me tell you something. And I'm going to speak directly to you because you said it, but this is you are not the only person I'm talking to, if that makes sense. So nobody can be ready for marriage. The idea, as I spoke before in my other videos about marriage is literally just a unification between two people. That's literally what it is. Like I've said a million times, you can have a relationship inside of a marriage, but you cannot have a marriage inside of a relationship. So you're never going to be ready for what's coming in a marriage. You're not just going to be married and then all of a sudden everything is just like, oh, it's all in order. And oh my goodness, it's just like everything just fell in place. It doesn't work like that. It will never work like that. Never. If the person that you're with is a person that you see yourself with, and I'm not saying just see yourself standing next to him like you're a trophy. I mean, hey, Duran, I mean somebody you can see yourself solving problems with. Resolving any kind of issues or conflicts that come into the relationship. Finances is one of the number one reasons for divorce. So when you see that you can actually solve problems with him, if you're with a man and he works really hard to make sure he provides things for the family, he makes sure that he does everything that he can. If he's helping you, he don't have to help you clean. I mean, if that's your responsibility, but the fact that he makes an effort, when you have a man who is providing you with protection, security, when he's being productive, not just some man that just goes to work, comes home, and that's the end. No, that's his house. So he still has to make sure that the things are running in the house. So you don't want no man that just throws it all like, oh, okay, well, I did my part. That's 50-50. And that's really, when you're looking at a man to marry, and they look at marriage as 50-50, that's a red flag all day long. That is definitely a red flag. You don't want a man who looks at marriage as 50-50 because marriage is not 50-50. If it was, he would go to work and he would come home and he would sit down. He wouldn't help you do nothing else. He wouldn't do nothing else. But you have to find somebody. And so when you have a man that does that and they make sure that you're good and your children are good and the house is done and the house is taken care of and you make sure that that's going on, you're not going to be ready for the actual unification. You're already living the unification. You're just contractually making it legal when you marry somebody. I looked at my marriage license the other day. I had pulled it out. Do you know it has an expiration date? So let me tell you something else that has expiration dates. Contracts. Contracts has expiration. And yes, I'm calling the clerk of courts tomorrow morning to find out, am I still married? Which I know I am, but do I need to renew this? Like, there's an expiration date on my license. Like, I didn't like that. I don't like seeing that. But the point is, it's a contract. Okay? Marriage itself is a unification to the point where you guys are married. You have unified as one. But signing that paper, all you're doing is making it legal. All you're doing is signing the contract saying that by law, we are unified as one. That's literally what you're doing. You're changing your name and all that. It doesn't take that long. And for you, when you say that you're not ready for marriage, when you're living together as one, when you're solving problems together as one, when you guys can bicker and argue and actually come to conclusions together, and you guys can you can work things out together, you're already showing me that you're ready for marriage. People take marriage out of its context, like all the time. It doesn't take that long to figure that out. It does not take that long to figure out somebody that we are ready for, that you're doing what I want you to do. I'm ready to marry you. Do you like the same things? Do you appreciate, do you look up to the things that I'm doing as a man, or as a woman? Can you marry me? That's really all that is. You guys should go back and watch my video about marriage material. And are you really ready for marriage? Are you marriage material? Watch that video. It's a little long because that was back then when I didn't care how long my videos were, but it doesn't take that long. If you're in a relationship and you guys are going through it head on, and you guys are able to fix problems. I'm not telling you to keep arguing your entire life, but eventually you will learn how to not argue. You'll get to the point where you can look each other in the face and say, you know what, you get on my nerves. And you get on my nerves. Yeah, well, we do. And then laugh it off. It's a joke. It's like a joke. It's like, people think that marriage is supposed to be peaches and cream, princesses and princes, and it don't be like that. It don't be like that. Let me see. Duran said, we got married together after 3 months, a new baby being on the way to start the process. You know what, Duran, that's dangerous. And I tell people that all the time. When they get married because of a baby, I'm not knocking you for it. I mean, congratulations. You guys should definitely be married. I don't know how long you've been married. How long you been married? Tell me that. But I'm not knocking you for that. But that's one of the reasons that you don't just jump into a marriage because of a baby. Old school people got us thinking that, because we really are not supposed to be, doing things that cause babies to come into the world anyways. So that's kind of why they're like that. So like, well, if you're pregnant, you might as well go ahead and get married. So at least the baby ain't a bastard and outside of wedlock, We aren't married yet. We're practically married. Ain't no practically married. How long y'all been together? We're all sinners. What, baby? Okay, baby, I love you. Okay. My daughter. Oh, okay. Okay, they'll be fine. They know when I be doing this stuff, not to. They all right. Okay, baby, love you. Bye. That's my daughter. Yeah, Duran, y'all together 5 years. Y'all you just said we practically married. It's one piece of paper. One. And it literally just solidifies it. It literally just legalizes it. That's literally it. I mean, there's no if ands about it. It's if you're together that long, handle that.